Hello and welcome to another edition of the Spiritual Medicine Digest. This week we are talking about light being starseeds, specifically those that were light beings in other realities and timelines who have incarnated into a physical human form in this timeline. They had some interesting experiences this week. Now, not everyone did, but I'm going to tell you more in just a minute. If you're new to my YouTube channel, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, so next time I do a new video, you will be immediately notified. So let's talk a little bit more about this week's topic. It's called dimensional geometry. Now, I'm not very good at explaining dimensional geometry at this moment in time. At some point in the future, I may be able to explain a lot more. Let's just say that all of reality that you and I experience on a physical level, a tactile level, first goes through an organization of energies into geometric patterns. And there's a lot of quantum physics, behind all this. And I'm sure that there is more to be discovered in order to describe all of it. So light being starseeds are fairly unique in that they have some special, let's say, superpowers or abilities that non-light being starseeds are evolving to but have not gotten to yet, or that's my current understanding. So with those advantages also comes some interesting challenges. This week's challenge has to do with their perception of or experience of time, and for some, time and space. Now, what does that look like in everyday life? I wasn't particularly majorly challenged. However, I did notice I had a little bit more difficulty being on time to appointments and things like that this week. Time would seem to fly, and there seemed to be a sense of needing more time. Now, for other people, it might be opposite. It might be, wow, this is lasting forever, or time seems to last forever. That is not the general consensus, as a lot of people, even non-light being starseeds, have noticed, wow, time's really flying. So our perception of time is really varied. However, many of us feel that sense of, wow, there's not enough time, or there just seems to be time flying by, and what have I done today? Is that you? Okay. Not to criticize at all ourselves of any of that. That could look very different as well. It doesn't have to be running late in my case. Sometimes you're just having fun, and time just like, whew, it goes really, really fast. So if your perception of time this past week has been a little bit interesting, either you could be a light being starseed, or you can feel into some of these ascension-related shifts that we are all going through in some way, shape, or form. Now, with dimensional geometry, with light being starseeds in particular, there are relationships between all the different components that make up dimensional geometry. I'm not at the place where I can describe these, name them at this point in time. I just know there are several different components, of which time-space is one component of dimensional geometry. So for light being starseeds, one of the things that they can do if they are someone who's done, my TOLPAKAN healing method, divine muscle testing, that kind of thing, is that they can go into stillness, right? And they can test how happy, harmonious, optimized is my energetic relationship with all components of dimensional geometry. Even if you don't know what they are, what they're called, doesn't really matter, okay? The universe does know. So you can test that and get that out of 100%. Ideal, of course, is 100%, that this energetic relationship is 100%. And when that happens, my sense is that your perception of time will be a little bit more balanced. So you'll probably be able to, in a human body, accomplish things in a certain time frame, as well as not feel like you're running late or not enough time. Can't promise, but that's the theory anyway. Now, with light being starseeds, it's the energetic relationship with time-space, not just time and not just space. So there is something that is time-space. Can't explain it. Maybe some of the quantum physicists out there could maybe explain it to us, but at this point, I'm not able to explain what the difference is, except that a lot of people say time is an illusion. We sense the going through time in a linear fashion, but it really isn't linear, and that all that's ever happened will ever happen, and all realities is happening in the now, in whatever reality we're in the meta present or the present, which probably is why a lot of our spiritual teachers over the centuries have told us to be present. We cannot manifest or create something that we have not seen or experienced in that particular lifetime if we are not fully present and all our energy circuits are in the present, in order to seed the quantum with our intentions to create a new reality in the quote unquote future, right? Yes, that was very fast. So back to light being star seeds. So get a number at 100%. How happy, balanced, harmonious, optimized, whatever word you want to use, are my energetic relationships with all components of dimensional geometry. After you do that, then just test time-space. Now, if you're not a light being star seed, that may not be relevant to you to check your energetic relationship with time-space. Not really sure why it's not relevant. Just understand that light being starseeds didn't have a body in other timelines. Okay, so when they're embodied in this timeline, there are some specific things that they need to readjust as they continue their incarnations in a physical form. So if you're not a light being starseed, you can also just check how happy is your energetic relationship with time, just simply time. And then with space. When you do it in that order, how happy is my relationship, energetic relationship with time, how happy is my energetic relationship with space, the universe knows what you're talking about. You're talking about time and space, right? These dimensional concepts, if you will. They're not necessarily talking about your living room. So, so check that out of 100%, and the goal is to get it to 100%. In that way, we can ease our way through all the amazing dimensional and alchemical and energetic shifts and activations that we are going through in this growing and evolving experience that we are having as humans. Now, just a little bit about all of humanity, just a moment. A lot of times I talk about all of humanity as if it's another organism. And that's exactly how I see all of humanity, as another organism. Dr. Bruce Lipton, who I had the beautiful pleasure of hugging and kissing, on the cheek, and just really appreciating his amazing work in epigenetics. He talks about how a single-celled organism becomes a multi-cell organism, which then becomes actually an organ in the body of a human, and then multiple organs, trillions, 50 to 100 trillion cells in your body, then becomes the whole human organism, right? And it's like these cells, to evolve, they get into community. So what happens is us singular humans get into community with other humans, and we actually create the entire body, if you will, of all of humanity. So some of us are more like the heart of humanity. Others are more the brain. Others are more like the left big toe. Not sure who that is, not saying any names. It's all good, right? It's all good. I'm just making a joke. So if every single human is a part of the body of all of humanity, guess what? We can heal all of humanity as a whole. And that means if there are so-called negative elements or humans that you consider evil or negative or anything like that, that is still part of the organism of all of humanity. You can try to cut that piece out, but you know what happens, right? It's not really holistic. When you go to the doctor, if they need to cut out a tumor or something like that, there's a chance it's going to grow back because you haven't healed the entire organism. Cancer is not a localized phenomenon. Well, in some teachings, it's not even the problem is part of the solution, except when you haven't resolved the underlying issue, and then it could kill you. So if we just for a moment do the usual common consciousness thoughts about cancer. Okay, most people don't want cancer. They think it's a problem. Okay, we just go with that for now. And you consider that there's a part of all of humanity that is a cancer to all of humanity that will eat and destroy the rest of the body. You try to take it out. You try to take it out, you try to cut it out, you try to get rid of it. Well, there's always going to be a seed of that frequency and vibration in somewhere else in the body. And it's the same with the physical body. Hate to break it to you. But if you try to take a tumor out, and sometimes it's helpful to take a tumor out because it could be squishing something that's very important that shouldn't be squished, right? Like your throat, you can't breathe, or your ureter, you can't pee, whatever. Sometimes debulking the tumor is actually for the highest and greatest good for that person if they have not resolved whatever issue they need to resolve prior to it getting that big. So debulking is helpful to some degree. But even more helpful would be prevention, right? And more helpful would be to check the underlying issue that's causing and contributing to this development of this cancer rather than continually cutting pieces out of yourself, right? So for all of humanity, just see all of us as this one organism. So anytime we do healing, whether it be TOLPAKAN healing or other types of light medicine and healing, it is possible that you may be called, or you may be guided to heal the grand organism of all of humanity. So things to check is, you could check how happy is the energetic relationship of all of humanity to dimensional geometry and all facets or components of dimensional geometry. So let's do some TOLPAKAN healing right now. I'll do a little mini healing, mini activation. So what we're going to do is help you to rebalance your energetic relationship with dimensional geometry. So even if you are not a light being starseed, okay, we're going to do time and space separately and then time space together, and the other components all at once. Just notice how your body feels before and after. Would love to know what your results are in the comments below this video. Okay, so let's get into the 0 point space together before activation. I like to do this, or show my students how to do this. You don't have to do it if you don't want to, but it helps to increase the energy and qi between your hands. That is the Chinese word for energy. And then go ahead and close your eyes. So focus on the inside of your body. Turn your awareness inward. Go ahead and feel what's in your hands. Could feel like buzzing or waves. And follow the flow. Maybe you notice that it goes up the arms. Maybe you notice it in your chest, your head, your neck, down your legs, your whole body. Might be like that. Might be just in your hands. It doesn't matter. It's all okay. Follow the flow without any sort of attachment of it doing anything. So when we are focused on the inside of our body, we feel the vibration of the flow. We are now entering the 0 point field, the field of infinite possibilities. And here we can see the quantum with our intentions. I'm going to say some TOLPAKAN healing directives, and you just feel what's going on in the body. I now command that your energetic relationship to space be optimized, healed, and harmonized in the highest and best way, all directions of time, with ease, speed, and grace in all timelines where you exist. I now command that your energetic relationship with space and time, space, healed, harmonized, and optimized in the highest and best way, all directions of time, with ease, speed, and grace in all timelines where you exist. It's now commanded that your energetic relationship with time specifically be healed, rebalanced, reharmonized, optimized, with ease, speed, and grace in the highest and best way in all timelines where you exist. It's now commanded that your energetic relationship with all components of dimensional geometry be completely healed, harmonized, optimized in the highest and best way, all directions of time and all timelines where you exist, with ease, speed, and grace. Last, it's now commanded that all of humanity's energetic relationships with all components of dimensional geometry be healed, harmonized, optimized in the highest and best way, all directions of time and all realities where we exist, with ease, speed, and grace. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so I'd love for you just to tune in on what the body feels like again, and then make some notes, and love for you to deposit that in the comments below. All right, so let's do a few announcements for this week. So Monday on my Light Warrior Radio show, I have the pleasure of interviewing Sherri Greene, Dr. Sherri Greene. She's actually an MD, former podiatrist, and now is really, really an amazing holistic MD, and those seem to be rare these days to come by for many people. They constantly ask me, where can I find a holistic MD? Well, here's one. Now, she does work online, and we were talking about how to heal from long COVID. So she talked about like what's causing long COVID, what the issues are, and some of the natural ways in which she helps patients recover from long COVID, including how to detoxify safely, understanding what exactly is the physiological mechanism of that loss of smell anyway, right? What medications, if any, may be helpful, may be harmful, what foods you should avoid, if any particular diet that may be harmful or helpful, and then a little bit about supplements that she likes to use that can be really helpful as well. So tune in Monday for the pre-recorded show on Light Warrior Radio at 12 noon Eastern. I'll put the link near this video. Other announcements: on Tuesday, January 31st, I will have the pleasure of being live on an interview on Elevated Existence Telesummit with my friend Tammy Mastroberti, and we are going to be talking about trans-dimensional existences, or trans-dimensional healing, if you will. Now, the program that we are relaunching at this particular time is a program called Transdimensional Alchemy. And what we're going to be talking about in the interview is how alternate realities and your alternate selves could be impacting you in this timeline. I see it time and time again, more and more with all my students. And unless you're aware of it, it can be extremely disturbing. So we're actually going to be doing some healing on the show. Yay! We're going to be doing my alternate self support protocol. So you definitely want to be there live if you can to receive that healing. Also, we're going to be talking about how negative emotions can be seeded in one reality and timeline, but then fractalize and expand into multiple dimensions and timelines. Not so fun, right? However, there is a way that you can actually heal that almost instantly. So, if you're interested and you have not signed up yet for Elevated Existence, definitely do that right now so you can get that email with that special link and call-in information if you're using the phone to be on that interview live. And there will be a replay as well if you cannot make it, but would love to have your support and would love to have you live with me on that show. Now that is, I believe, 1 p.m. Eastern on the 31st. A couple other announcements. So Isa Herrera is another friend of mine. She's this incredible master teacher and healer with regards to pelvic floor issues, feminine issues. Now it's been challenging for her to actually email stuff out because, some of these words of the female anatomy get censored. So it's quite interesting trying to read some of these emails sometimes, and I have a little chuckle. So she helps, women with their V problems and their pelvic problems. And I've taken her pelvic alchemy class, and it's excellent. It really is excellent. It's very holistic. And there's a lot I learned that I did not learn in medical school, not even close. So if you are one of the many, 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 many millions of women, not to exclude the men, but if you're one of those millions of women that have problems down there, or things could be better down there, then you definitely want to check out her masterclass. It's excellent. It's jam-packed with amazing information. That alone was incredible, learning from her. Definitely opt in to the free masterclass. We'll put the link below this video, and then you will get alerts of when that is. Really, really great information. If you have not taken her class, definitely take it because it's very good. And maybe you know someone with issues. So you can actually share that link, special link, with them as well. And we found out that there is an encore class of the Science of Healing and Consciousness with my former student and friend Lloyd Burrell. And this was really, really fun, and I'm so glad they're offering an encore. So if you did not get to hear my interview or any of the other amazing interviews on this telesummit, this weekend is your chance to do so for free. So we'll put that link near this video as well. And that is it for this week's Spiritual Medicine Digest. Thank you so much for joining me. I look forward to checking in with you next week. And remember to subscribe, hit the notification bell if you're on YouTube, and put your comments below on what it was like in your body. What did you feel during that activation? And please let us know if you've had any challenges or maybe the opposite, improvements of your relationship with time prior to that healing. Until next time, lots of love and bye for now.